Welcome to the Paisans Podcast. We're your hosts, the brothers from other mothers, Dante, Dave, and Sark. Join us as we talk about current events, our wives, kids, or whatever else life is throwing at us this week. With the Paisans, you're with family.
Just in case you haven't been following along with this whole Lego story, this is all happening because I stepped in to help a family who got their Lego collection stolen from a company called Bricks and Minifigs. And for the last couple months, this company's been doing whatever they can to get me arrested so they can keep all the Legos for themselves.
I was going to update you guys on this drama. I don't know whether I should call it the Bricks and Minifigs drama or the Star Wars Lego drama or the Reckless Ben drama, but it's all connected. It's about this YouTuber named Reckless Ben who is effectively, I don't want to say going to war, but I guess he is, with this company called Bricks and Minifigs. Let me try and summarize the story because it's complicated. Okay. But here's high level. I'll do my best. There's a guy, I believe this all happens in Utah. This guy in Utah is been collecting Star Wars Lego sets. He has they are calling the world's largest Star Wars Lego set. Classics. He's been collecting them for, I don't know how long they've been around. Let's say 20 years. Okay. He's got all these classic sets unopened. The estimated value for these Legos total is about $200,000. He's got so many. Right.
Wow.
Now, I've heard other numbers come back and forth, and at the end of the day, they say the number is probably more like 120 realistically, but let's just say 200 because that's the number being thrown around largely. Because at some level, at the highest rate, if you sold everything for the highest rate possible, it would be like 200 grand.
Okay.
So this guy has been doing this collection, but he's an older man at this point, and he's sick. He's very sick, like cancer, I think, basically, or at least he's so old he needs money for his medical care. So his son, this guy named Jason, goes to a local Bricks and Minifigs store and he consigns all of the Star Wars stuff with his father's approval. You guys understand what consignment means? Consignment means the store takes it and says, okay, we have this as inventory, but it's your product. It's yours. When we sell it, for each one we sell, we'll take 10%, you take the rest. Great. And then they're advertising, we have the world's largest thing, whatever.
Yeah, by the way, we used to do consignment for our CDs when we first came out with our album.
Okay.
We did consignment with Sam Goody. That's how I remember consignment.
I'm sure we made a whopping $10.
Two of 200. Anyway,
still living high on that money. So they've consigned to this place, this Bricks and Minifigs store. Well, this Bricks and Minifigs store, it so happens, they're franchised, and this franchisee is apparently struggling. Okay, this woman, I think her name is Linda. She's struggling. The main corporate store, Bricks and Minifigs, effectively takes over her store. They say to her, like, you haven't paid these dues and blah, 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 whatever. I don't even want to guess as to what the justification was. I haven't heard anybody saying she was taken over unjustly. That may be his thing, but whatever. They took over the store. And when they take over the store, she says to them, hey, I got all this product. Like most of the inventory here is part of this guy's massive collection.
Okay.
And I've been keeping track of what I've sold, but he hasn't been paid all of this money. And then also there's a whole bunch of other inventory that's his at the same time. And they're like, well, that's our problem. We'll deal with that now. She's like, right, but I need to know the inventory so I can, like, you need to see my spreadsheet so you understand what he's been paid and what he hasn't. And they're basically like, yeah. We don't care. Like it's our problem now. We'll take care of it. You're right. So all of this, by the way, is on video. She's recorded this through the Ring store. And the reason that it's important that it's on video is because ultimately this all gets contested. So eventually the guy, Brian, who consigned the stuff through whatever set of events, goes back to the store and says, look, I get it. You've been taken over. Oh, they shut down the store. He's going in and saying, hey, listen, I want to be paid for my Legos or I want my Legos back. And they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. Because now he's talking to the new owners at the Bricks and Minifigs store. And then it begins this process where they basically call the cops on him, I think. They're accusing him of just showing up with a spreadsheet and claiming that he owns all this product and that they don't know, that they've never heard about this. Then he produces the video, and then there's like a whole, I don't know exactly all the details, but he gets so exasperated that at some point he says, one of the guys in the store says to him, here's how this is going to go. You're going to sue us. We're going to sue you back, and it's going to cost you way more than any amount of money you'd ever gotten from for Legos. So you're just going to walk away and be thankful that we're not suing you for whatever. And the guy's like, all right, that's a bunch of bullshit. So he contacts this YouTuber because this YouTuber is a guy named Reckless Ben. And apparently his whole shtick is he comes up with really unique ways of, like a better phrasing, like harassing people or,
Yeah.
like provoking people in situations like this. So my understanding, without having done a deep dive of Reckless Ben, is that he's sort of like a Robin Hood type, like, okay, you have a problem you can't get fixed, you come to me and we'll create content, and help deal with it.
It's funny. It says Reckless Ben first gained attention through extreme slacklining and stunt content, including setting a world record for slackline flips on the TV show Go Big Show. Later, his channel shifted toward investigations of controversial organizations, businesses, and alleged scams, including the Church of Scientology, McCamey Manor, an extreme haunted attraction, and this high-profile dispute involving a missing Star Wars Lego collection. So those are his, and yeah, over 1.5 million subscribers.
So he starts getting involved, and it gets so complicated. He tries to go in the store and tell them that he wants the inventory back. They trespass him. He calls the cops and tries to tell them that he wants a certain thing. They basically tell him, we can't help you. You have to sue him. So he sues them in small claims court. Then he wins the court case. At one point, he's trying to serve the guy papers to force them to pay him. And the guy calls the police. And all this because it's all been caught on body camera, because Ben has gone in and done FOIA requests. Now, here's what's amazing. When he's broken this stuff now into like 4 episodes, okay? It gets so friggin' complicated. At one point, he's got body camera footage that's redacted by the local police department, okay? When this gets out and starts blowing up on the internet does what it does. And guess what? Somebody hacks the police files and gets the unredacted body cams.
Oh my God.
And unredacted body cams show that all the shit they were redacting was inappropriate to be redacting. It was all to spare them and to spare the guy they were trying to serve. None of it was to actually serve the victim. I mean, it is so clear cut. It's like, I don't care how objective you are, how long you've been with the police force. You can see this and be like, these dudes are this is a problem. Okay. Straight up. At one point, the cop is talking to the guy who was supposed to be served, whose name I forget. This guy is the franchise owner.
Yeah.
The new franchise owner. He is telling the police officer, they're a bunch of YouTubers. If he's giving you paperwork, it's all fake. The cop has already checked and he knows that it's not fake. It's real. And he says to the guy, well, they're telling me that it's real or whatever. And the guy's like, that's ridiculous. He's like, can I take a peek at it? Can I take a peek at it? And the cop's like, well, that sort of puts me in a weird situation. It's like, yeah, because if you're looking at it, you're served. That's it.
Yep.
Okay. So the fact that the guy is having the conversation with the cop is completely wrong. Completely wrong. He is legally obligated to say to the guy, you don't have a choice, dude. You're served. These are legally legitimate documents. But he doesn't. The cop comes back and he goes over to the side of the car where Reckless Ben is, and he tosses the paperwork into the car with him. He's like, you can have that back. And he's got this attitude with him, like, you're completely in the wrong. You need to get out of here because you're harassing this guy. It's like something out of a movie. It's like out of a movie. You're like, this is so over the top. Like, this is just not believable. But it's completely real. And then after they leave, the guy who they were trying to serve calls the police and says to them, Reckless Ben has stolen all these Legos. He's harassing me because he has the Legos. He's got them in his house, and here's where he is. And so they send a SWAT team to Reckless Ben's house, like to this place where they are. A SWAT team. They break in. They break the door down. Guns drawn. Rifles drawn in full gear, dude. Yes. Yeah, I'm telling you, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it. Okay? Full SWAT gear, and they're threatening them, and they're looking for, they won't tell them what they're looking for. And then when he finally gets the paper, like time and again, there's these things where they're like on him and arresting him, and they won't tell him what he's being arrested for, why they're in his house with guns drawn. One of his friends is one of his guys who's on his staff clearly is like there with his phone, and they go to grab his phone. The guy goes to lock his phone, and they grab it, and they're like, that's obstruction of evidence and blah, blah, blah. And they arrest him. They try and charge him. Dude, The corruption is insane to the point where, I mean, dude, I barely scratched the surface here. Okay. He goes to the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, who is this dude who looks like a villain out of a 1920s movie. He's got the mustache, like the chrome. I shit you not. Okay. Well, they go to him and he knows exactly who they are and exactly why they're there and lies to their faces all on camera because they're recording everything as they're doing all this. Straight lies to them and tells them, this guy, Jason, never consigned anything with us. We never had the Lego product. And then he basically tells Ben, get out. Then he calls the police immediately and says, they trespassed and I told them to leave and they wouldn't leave. They were harassing me. So he's constantly lying to the police and throwing accusations at this kid, Reckless Ben. Now the DA decides they're going to charge Reckless Ben with harassment. They're charging him with RICO.
The fact that he's a YouTuber already gives him a bet. Like, cops are already ready for some type of confrontation.
I was wondering if, I don't know anything about this guy, Reckless Ben. I don't know what his content is. Does he have a reputation? I know he's like harassing people, but like, is he famous enough that the local authorities would be like, oh, we know this guy. We get a lot of calls about this guy. He's a big problem because he's constantly harassing people. So I just like wonder if that is playing in the back of these cops' minds.
So
I don't know if it is or it isn't.
When I said it's complicated, I wasn't kidding. So there's another layer to this. Okay. This may or may not be part of it.
You're asking the right questions.
Yes. Where does this say? Remember where I told you? Where is this? What state is this happening in?
Utah. I actually forgot. Oh, okay. Utah. Yeah. Okay.
Utah.
Mormon world.
Well, look, I can't speak to this definitively, but what I hear is that they protect their own within that community. And so the fact that this guy, there's two layers. There's the guy who is the franchise owner, and then there's Bricks and Minifigs, which are two separate like things. Bricks and Minifigs has now completely disowned the guy who was the franchise owner because he was completely exposed in that video, completely exposed. And then people dig into him and it turns out he's got a whole history himself. So you got criminals at different, white collar criminals. The guy from Bricks and Minifig, the CEO from Bricks and Minifig, is actually familiar with RICO charges because he has been prosecuted on RICO charges. It's like, you can't make this shit up. I think what happened is these guys have been protected in this one little area. They thought they're big shit, and they just had no idea that they're tapping two really, really big close communities, the Lego community and the Star Wars community. And when you combine them together, you have people who give a shit. You really do. And they see something like this and they're going to watch the video and they're like, holy crap. And I think these guys are shocked that it's blown up to the level that it has because it's actually made national news. It's become a national thing. Without going into all the shit that has happened in between, because when I tell you there have been trials upon trials, we are now at a point where I think this kid, Reckless Ben, has got a couple of really high-end civil liberties lawyers, I shouldn't say civil liberties, but lawyers who are tracking what's going on, and now they're moving this to federal court. And once this moves to federal court, it's over. All the buddy, you scratch my back shit goes away. The federal government wants to overwrite this shit. They do not like this type of shit. And I think it's like they've found a hornet's nest here. They just had no idea. It was just under the covers.
What's so funny too about this is that clearly the CEO and this company, Bricks and Minifigs, they don't have high moral ground if they're going to do something like this. But then as soon as the public turned on that franchise owner, they're like, oh, we're washing our hands completely of this guy. And meanwhile, they're probably just as scummy as he is, if not worse.
Correct.
I have a feeling that this was this franchise owner going rogue and just wanting that money for himself.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling, Dante, you're probably right that the CEO, the people who own this company, they probably knew this guy personally, so that maybe even a friend. So they were just defending him. Like that's kind of what I just think happened here. And then when it started coming to light and blowing up, and then they started hearing some other stuff, they're like, we can't defend this guy anymore. Like we have to now cut ties with him.
As soon as it became expedient for them to cut ties with him, and maybe I think what they were hoping was almost like a signal flare, like, all right, yeah, go after him, leave us alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or there's like some sort of like bump that they get for cutting ties with this, scumbag guy. Be like, oh, well, look, we're a good company.
Yeah, exactly. It's a problem you have with him, not with us anymore. Hey, we sell Legos, Yeah. Well, let's see. Animation's pretty good. Make this big.
right now, I kind of don't even know what I'm being charged for because all of the body cam footage has been redacted, and they say it's to protect the victims. However, I think there are some redactions that maybe don't make sense and that weren't to protect the victims, and there's some things being said about me that are redacted I don't know about.
I do have some concern.
This is the
In this
prosecutor.
case, with the defendant representing himself, the allegations here relate to the fact that the defendant, he's a person he's a YouTuber.
Notice
There you go.
they won't tell him what he's being accused of.
I don't know how you show up. Like, I would have a serious problem showing up if they didn't tell me what I was being accused of.
That's the problem with the state, because the state is basically just a gun when you need it to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
how do they compel you? Well, because they will show up at your house and they will then arrest you. And now you've committed a crime by not showing up. And so now part of their whole strategy through this entire thing has been proactively report Ben for things. They trespassed that guy, Brian, the first guy, the son of the guy who with the Legos. Like, they trespassed him to get him off. And then every time he shows up, he's been here before, he's harassing us. We had to call the police.
Restraining order.
And immediately you put the police in this mindset of, oh, okay, I got it. I'm dealing with a troublemaker here who won't listen.
Sure. Yep.
And it's really frustrating. Multiple times he tries to explain to these police officers the circumstance. And it's just like they've already clicked off the part of the brain that thinks. And they're just like, no, you're full of shit. It's crazy. Okay, so just continue. But just to be clear, he's saying to them, I'd like to know what I'm being accused of.
Publishes him online and has been, if this defendant were to represent himself and we were to provide body cams and discovery, we would be now providing additional information and fodder for this defendant to create videos from which he could profit by placing them on YouTube at the expense of our victim. I have serious concerns for that.
Yeah, the state of Utah is
Right.
claiming that if they tell me what I'm being accused of, then I'll use it for content on my YouTube channel. And they can't have that. They're arguing to the judge that the best thing to do is to not let me know what's being said about me, which is very strange, but that's their argument.
For a kid who's being accused of this and to have all this stuff hanging over his head, he's got a good sense of
And
humor.
this isn't even just me speculating. One of their own employees literally told us what their plan was.
I got a call from my boss, and it was like, how do we get them arrested? How do we
Dang.
get them arrested?
But eventually, Bricks and Minifigs found out that I'm not just some random kid. I'm actually a YouTuber making a documentary on the entire scandal.
So the YouTube guy is named Reckless Ben. I don't want to be on YouTube.
Yeah, this is when things really started getting crazy. Bricks and Minifigs went into ultimate defense mode and was going to do whatever it takes to prevent this documentary from coming out.
He might now explain the relationship between that franchise owner and the CEO. It's just, he might touch on that because I think you're right, Dave. I believe that there was some type of relationship they had
First,
previously.
the police got a call saying I had heroin on me.
These officers are going to conduct a search of your person because they have illegal substances in the vehicle.
And obviously, they found nothing. But then they got a call saying that I was the one that stole the Legos. And I got swatted by the entire police department.
Included in the warrant are Legos.
And we all got arrested. But right when I got out of jail, I got a warrant for my arrest for some mystery crime that I committed.
It seems like this guy might live in LA, or his last known address is in LA.
Did you see that said non-bailable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unavailable.
They're trying to get him put away with no bail.
And they won't even tell him what he's being charged with.
Right. Now, look, I'm not going to tell you that this happens to everybody, but this makes you fucking wonder. It really fucking makes you wonder. Like, this is not good. I'm sorry, but like, I think the Fed has to be looking at this police department. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
This is a topic that we could probably go into a lot and probably on a different episode, but there's plenty of stories about these police departments that do corruptive things. And it's not to say that all police officers are bad or all police departments are bad and whatever. That's not what I don't think any of us are trying to say, but
no,
there are plenty of stories and there are plenty of compelling stories where you hear things and you're like, that sounds very fishy at best.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems like what I pick up with a lot of these, like if you watch any true crime documentaries or anything. Like Making a Murderer, for example, is a great example. If that was on Netflix a few years ago, cops oftentimes just make their mind up before they have all the facts, and they really latch on to that original theory, and they will go lengths to justify that, even if they realize that they're wrong. It's weird,
right,
and that's kind of what I feel like is probably happening here.
That Making a Murderer, by the way, that's a great example. I mean, that's one of those, like, I forget how many episodes it was, but you're through episode 1 and you're like, oh, I already know who did it. Then you're through episode 2 and you're like, I don't know who did it. Then by the time you're in the fourth, you're like, I completely have no idea what's good. But they had you convinced after the first one, your point, Dave, how quickly the cops can come to those conclusions, wrap it up, put a bow on it, and you go, what's wrong? I also see, because my boys watch a lot of YouTube, and you have these YouTubers that love to just go into like public places and create chaos and all this, right?
Yes.
And there seems to be this dilemma right now. I don't know if it's like lack of laws or statutes, but it's like, how do you deal with these people? And you see like extremes of it. Some cops, depending upon where it is, they laugh it off, or they know the guys, they're just joking around. And other places, they're just like, look, we're done with this. Like this Walmart or this Target is a spot for you. Like, we're going all out. And I wonder sometimes just the mention of a YouTuber who's known to expose and investigate scams, and immediately they're like, shut it down.
Yeah, and I feel like, Mike, what you said is spot on with what we've seen in these few minutes here, where the cops are like, he's a YouTuber, and you see the one cop is like, I don't want to be on YouTube. So like right off the bat, they have a perception that this guy is going to create problems with his content, and they want nothing to do with it. So I think they've had this mindset, and it was probably very easy for them to believe a guy, a CEO of a company who maybe has a shirt and tie on, right, and is very put together and can put a sentence together, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
and
it's
they
funny
probably
if you
just
see these
believe
guys, because they're not buttoned up guys, which is sort of funny. But
so your
point is still well taken, Dave. It's
right.
The guy I'm thinking of is Chase Hughes, and Chase Hughes would look at this and say, to the point you made earlier, Dave, I don't see guys going, hey, let's railroad this guy. No, there's a sort of a them and us mentality that I know emerges when, like within military units, within police departments, it's always sort of like a them and us. You have to, because you have to have one another's back, and that's part of the training and how you think about things. And so I think it's very easy for them to get into this. To your point, Dave, it's like there's this guy who's trying to create chaos. So he doesn't give a shit about people or like how he impacts people. And then there's us. We're trying to like protect. Here's this guy who owns a business, and this very quick to make the decision. This YouTuber is a problem maker. And then they all jump. It's like every individual person is just sort of joining the us. It's like, oh, right. Okay. Here's what the tribe thinks. Okay. We're all working for the same goal then as the tribe. That's how it works. So I completely buy into that. Let's see where this
the police showed up to my house all the way in Los Angeles to arrest me without bail.
He was like, just tell him he has a warrant for his arrest.
But the police couldn't arrest me.
And you're where he actually is?
No idea.
Okay.
I was somewhere very far away. But anyways, back to court. The judge is looking at signing a protective order to protect Josh and all of his statements about me. If this protective order gets signed...
Josh was the franchise owner, the bald guy who was a bold-faced lying, who's been completely exposed in this process.
And I'll never be able to find out what he's claiming I did.
I got bad news. I don't think we have any more budget for animation, dude.
Oh, shoot. So how do we animate this next court scene? I guess if we have to not pay the lawyers, then I guess the animation's more important, right? Yeah, we decided maybe the lawyers are actually more important. So, we ran out of animation budget. Sorry, guys.
The court's inclined to sign this pretrial protective order unless you have an objection to it, Mr. Schneider, and the objection to such an order.
Yes, I think there's a bunch of misunderstandings in this case. And so this person doesn't want to get exposed. So he's making up a lot of lies about me to order to get me arrested before he gets exposed. So that's what this whole thing's about. However, before I was allowed to show any of the overwhelming evidence I have to support my claims, the judge didn't care about the evidence and signed the protective order anyways.
Okay. So here's where they have all the footage of when they interacted with the CEO.
Let's start at the beginning. The moment I first met the CEO. The reason I'm talking to him right now is because
not exactly buttoned up. Just as a side note, you see the guy.
Before exposing this company for the grand theft they committed, I thought it was in good faith to give them an opportunity to do the right thing first before I make a documentary about this.
You had like $200,000 worth of Legos in your store?
Nope. Never happened.
But the CEO did not want to take the opportunity to do the right thing and instead instantly called the cops on us.
Hi there, I'm calling to report a crime.
They themselves say, hey, you guys stole this product from this person. If you don't give it back, I'm going to burn the place down. Or we're going to burn the place down. Or I'll kill you. It's Ben Snyder who's been the one engaged in this behavior.
You can see in the police report that the crime he wanted to get us charged for is called extortion, which basically means we're threatening him into paying us, which is very illegal.
Now, I mean, look, sure, they may have cut part of the video out and he didn't show you the entire video interaction. But that's the other thing is he provides them the entire interaction when they get off the elevator, they walk up, they're waiting, the whole thing. It's all there. It's all timestamped. So they haven't even looked at the evidence. And at some point, he gets one of the prosecutors to acknowledge they haven't even looked at the evidence. And they rule against him anyway.
However, obviously, he's just making all of this up. The reality is, I just thought it was a nice gesture to give him the opportunity to do the right thing first.
If you guys do have our Legos, we just kind of want them back, you know? And
But if there's one thing I've learned from this entire experience, it's that whoever ends up doing the morally right thing just ends up getting screwed over.
Okay. Now, this guy goes on to go on like some other show, the CEO guy, and have a whole conversation. And he'll show you clips from where he just lies. He just lies about what happened, what they said in the interaction. And his only defense is to suggest that some of these interactions happened off camera.
And by the way, the extortion charge is really interesting because that, again, I think goes to the YouTuber piece. Because aren't they suggesting that you'd basically just like publicly humiliate the person until they pay you? So again, they're leaning into the whole YouTube content.
Every time he answers, he looks away. He looks down. He looks away.
That's a good point.
So it's
store.
Never happened.
You're right.
Eamon was
You're
first
right.
trying to claim that he's never even heard of Brian Mansell, and this guy definitely never had any Legos in a Bricks and Minifigs store. But once we showed him all of the social media posts his own company made, it was very obvious that we just caught him in a lie. So the CEO decided to change his story, and now the story is the Legos used to be in the store, but the previous owner, Crystal, she stole the Legos right before they took over the store.
Back up the easy way.
Have the Lego.
Right.
Crystal sold the Lego.
The only problem is there's security camera footage of the previous owner getting kicked out.
These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay him.
That's a business thing and not necessarily yours. He's taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment.
Corporate just said that they're going to be the ones to take over the consignment deal with all the Legos that are still in the store. And as extra proof that these Lego sets were still in the store, the owner went into the back and started taking pictures of everything that you can verify in the metadata with the timestamps that match the exact moment she's getting kicked out. And then you can see her leave the store with nothing.
See, she knew she was going to get, she could see it coming. So kudos to her because she knew. I don't know what happened with this whole takeover thing, but this was not amicable either.
Yeah.
You know what
she
I mean?
probably
So
has
she's
some bad
pissed.
feelings already toward them,
Yes.
whatever's happening.
They tried to blame her immediately. They immediately tried to say it was her problem. It was her fault. And at one point they were saying to him, we never signed any deal with you. She signed a deal with you. The franchise guy. Like I'm telling you, man, shit is so crazy. That's got to be why it's going to blow up. I can't wait. So I think actually Reckless Ben has already been on CNN. Like this shit is blowing up. I'm telling you, kids will be at college learning about public relations and PR, and they will be watching this guy from Bricks and Minifigs as an example of like, let's just show how not to do it. Example.
The person you're trying to reach is not available.
So I'm traveling all the way back to Utah to go back to the Provo police station in person to see how the police investigation against Ammon is going. And
yeah, because he's calling them and they disconnected the line.
I just so happened to get a hold of the police schedule and arrived at the exact time this officer was supposed to arrive. But before I could speak to this officer, one of the other police officers called into the front desk and asked to talk to me.
I'm not seeing him on duty right now.
Really? They said he was going to be here today at 3 o'clock.
There's always the chance that they might have called out sick or something.
Is there any way that you can like check if he's here, or?
He's definitely scheduled to be here. Like I said, they might have called out sick or something.
Are you able to look and see how the case is going? All I really want is kind of just an update on the case.
I think that's your update right there.
It's got to fast forward.
Over the phone.
Okay, you can't even just tell me like how it's going, like if he's still looking into it, or.
I mean, the obvious question is, how am I supposed to find out, ma'am? Since I'm calling the officer, the line's been disconnected. I'm here to talk to the officer. You're telling me you can't find them. You're not sure why they're not here, and you won't tell me over the phone. So it's when you see the gaslighting, it's maddening, because you can imagine other people would start to get pissed. And as soon as you show that you're pissed off, now they're going to fucking come at you. Like, oh, you're out of control. You're angry, blah, 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 blah. You know, the second you show any emotion or frustration, that's what they're looking for. So they can turn around and pin it on you. It's insane.
But eventually, I did find an answer. They sent it to me in the mail. And looks like I was right. The police only had time to take on one of our cases. And it was Ammon's, not mine. Yes, the case that had an overwhelming amount of evidence. They thought that case was garbage. And they took on the case that has zero evidence at all. In the police body cam footage, after the police watched my full conversation, proving that I didn't threaten to burn the place down or literally anything.
We did find that there was another code that fit, and it's called aggravated commercial obstruction.
The police just told Eamon that even though there's absolutely nothing to his claim against me, if they work together, maybe they can fabricate some type of charge against me.
Whoever that detective was that you saw, you didn't see her face, but you could hear her voice. I mean, she is straight up crime shopping for them.
Yes, she is.
They're going to put these charges in the database, and that means every law enforcement officer who comes across him, sees this stuff, knows nothing about any of the truth behind it. All he knows is this is what you're being accused of, period. And this guy is intentionally putting this shit in the books to poison the well. This guy is look, I'm not qualified to diagnose somebody, but this is sociopathic. It really is. This is sociopathic behavior.
And you're going to have that, like, because now they're saying, yes, he threatened me. So now that goes into the system. You're going to have that whole, like, proceed with caution. This dude gets pulled over for doing 5 miles an hour over, right? It's like, proceed with caution.
Yep.
This guy could be dangerous. He's threatened people.
Yep. And nothing about this guy, this CEO guy, makes me believe for a second that he would be upset. God forbid something tragic were to happen to Reckless Ben. He gets pulled over, to your point, Mike. So whatever, cops, they see a approach with caution. They come with guns drawn. The guy turns, he's got a camera. They see the camera, boom, they shoot somebody. God forbid. Nothing about this guy's character makes me think, this guy Ammon's character makes me believe he would be upset. He would probably smirk and chuckle and be like, hey, one less problem to worry about.
Yeah.
Now that problem's solved.
Yeah. Have we seen the Legos again at all? Like, I know the girl took pictures. We don't even know if the Legos are still there anymore, right?
There's a whole separate story about what actually happened to the Legos. That is, it's a drama unto itself. They took a rental car there that day. Like when they showed up and they took over that day, they had a U-Haul with them. They denied they had a U-Haul. Ben gets the footage from within the room, and he can see through the cameras. There's a U-Haul sitting there that they denied happened. Workers from the store who he got, basically he got footage. He recorded them and had interactions with them. Some of them without them. Like he had cameras and shit when people didn't know, and he got them to say, "Oh yeah," people were saying, "Oh no," like that night it was really strange. He showed up with a U-Haul. And he had a whole bunch, he unloaded a bunch of stuff into the back. I didn't see what it was, but they stored it all back. So there's a whole back end where they think the franchise, the new franchise owner actually may have stolen stuff. It's so beyond the pale. I'll fast forward to basically where we are today, I think, because we're almost out of time at this point. A judge within Utah said, put something on him so he couldn't publish any more episodes, and he couldn't speak about this publicly at all. He couldn't reference Bricks and
gag
Minifigs.
order or whatever. Yeah.
It was some type of gag order. And then now they've moved the case to federal court, and the federal judge said, no, absolutely not. You can take that off. That's how he was able to release this episode.
I finally have an announcement.
Well, it looks like I don't need this disguise anymore because I have my freedom of speech back, baby.
And now that I have my freedom of speech back, everyone is wondering how Bricks and Minifigs can make up for the fact that they made up all these lies about me to take away my freedom of speech. Most legal experts are saying I could easily win millions of dollars from Bricks and Minifigs, but instead, I have a better solution.
If they want to apologize, they can say that they're sorry by doing the chicken dance. And I will take that as a sincere form of apology. And once they do the chicken dance, then I will know that Bricks and Minifigs is sorry, and we can finally move on to the next video series. It'll be awesome. And also make sure to check us out at www.westealfromoldpeople.com because right now we have 2 new Lego sets for sale that you can buy right now. One of Joshua Johnson and one of Ammon McNeff. And we're only making 500 of each. And once all 500 of each sell out, we're never making any more.
Anyway, I'm fascinated by this story, as I'm happy to bring you guys down the road a little bit. We will see what happens. I will watch subsequent episodes and see where it continues to go. But the lawsuits are still open.
Extra footage, full interviews.
I'll believe this in because I want to give full credit to this kid.
Patreon, you'll be the first to watch it. And also subscribe to part 5, subscribe to part 6, part 7, all the way to part 100. We're doing 100 parts. My lawyer said if Minifigs sues me, which they've still not dropped their lawsuit, then it'll be at least 2 years and 52 weeks a year, 104 parts at least.
That's about it. Yeah.